Wow, okay. You know, it's funny. I'm not the one playing football and putting pads on and going out there, but I'm the one exhausted in week 15 of our second season. And it's a bye week. I'm exhausted. I don't know what it is, but this team has been performing so well and so hard, and I'm the one that's tired. It makes no sense. Anyway, so we went ahead and I didn't make a show for week 14. It was a bye week. We actually had back-to-back bye weeks to finish off the season, which is good. It gives us some time to lick our wounds after taking that L to Wyoming, in which our offense was atrocious and our defense wasn't so terribly amazing as they have been. Yeah, it was, bad. That's the only word I have for the Wyoming game. Alex, who also commentated with me, after he was just irate. He's a super fan, so I expect that, you know, he was not happy. Anyway, so we got past week 14, and pretty uneventful, no major commitments. And then we got to week 15, and suddenly things had changed. There was a pretty big commitment, and you're gonna see it on screen in just a second here. And there it is. Boom. Jason Edwards committed. What? 4-star Jason Edwards committed. Okay, that's not bad, you know? So the line is actually starting to shape up. We have a ton of linemen coming in this upcoming season, and you'll actually see that in just a second. I'm gonna scroll through all our signees so far. But a 4-star recruit. So here's number 1, Darius McIntyre coming in. Darius Robbins, Jamar Brooks. We have so many cornerbacks. Byron Handy, Brett Kraft. We have a few guards. A guard from Wyoming, Richard Fields. A tackle from, I believe that's Minnesota, Ryan Savoy. Chase Poole, Jack Gibbs. Even another quarterback in James Morris in case things go wrong. Bobby Banks, Jason Clemens, Stephen King, not the writer. We have David Golden coming in out of Texas, actually. Jason Edwards, who we just got. I'm so excited for that. Mike Harris, the kicker. Hugh Jordan, the star-studded cornerback. Tanner Clay, who I've heard is just like his brother and is a lockdown, you know, he just hits him really hard. Alex Hampton, Anthony Freeman, and Ben Thompson. And the jury's still out on remaining recruits, so Kevin Patterson is looking like he favors us, and we'll take that one to the offseason. And Lee House actually was added recently. Lee House, Darius McIntyre's partner in crime there at Northridge. So we'll see if he comes in. That'd be nice to get another receiver, especially a guy like him. He's a real big slot target. Baron Gejkowski's going to Penn State. Robbie Connor to Arizona. Jason Edwards, of course, we got. Tommy Marler, who I was really hoping to get, went to Utah. We were never in the race for him. Omar Jacobs is going to Utah State. Scott Clemens chose BYU over us, unfortunately. He is from Provo, so that makes sense. Kai Linehan, as we know, chose Utah, unfortunately. That one still hurts. Dylan Murdoch goes to Utah. Wes Robinson going to Utah. Utah got some recruits this year. We're going to have to play them soon because they stole a lot of our recruits. We stole a lot of theirs as well, but it's a little frustrating. Roy Sims to Nevada. Marshall Church to BYU. Jason Burnett chooses Utah State yet again. Oh boy. Frustrating. Mikhail Mooney, another one to BYU actually. Carson Liljinquist, this one was such a painful loss. Utah State. Tanner Wetzel to North Carolina, actually going way across the nation there. West to East Coast. Lee House, who is currently looking like he'll go to Utah, but we're going to fight hard for him. Elijah Davis, who did go to Utah, another frustrating loss. Just continually taking L's to Utah. Unfortunately for them, they took a lot of L's to us as well. And that about wrapped it up for recruiting in the state of Utah. As we ended up getting the rest of the guys, Mike McMillan did go to Utah State, but we're pretty short up at the fullback position, so not a big deal. I have some more news. This one may be a bit more relevant considering our upcoming bowl game, which we will find out towards the end. I'm supposed to get a text soon that tells us where we're going. I'm not sure yet where it is. Hopefully that happens during the segment. But we'll actually be possibly, it's a big possibly here. It's not set in stone. But I've heard some good things on Kosi Mensah's recovery. He's been upgraded to questionable. His collarbone has healed insanely fast. And we still have a few weeks, so it's already been 3 weeks, I believe, since he got injured. And we already have, you know, another 2 weeks coming up because there's the Champions Week where all the conference championships take place. And then we'll likely not be in the first week of bowl games, but in the second week. And so now you're looking at around 6 weeks maybe since he's been hurt. And he was expected to be out about 7 or 8 weeks. Again, gonna play this one by ear. Playing him too early could possibly risk his career, and we don't want to risk his career, especially not just because he's a good player and it's nice to have a good player on your team, but because this young man has a bright future in front of him. Could maybe go pro as a fullback or maybe as a running back, who knows? So we don't want to risk anything just yet. But we could be getting him back. We could be seeing him play a little bit in the bowl game. And speaking of the bowl game, I just got a text. Actually, Alex is the one who's breaking the news to me. Alex says we're playing in the Armed Forces Bowl against the Marshall Thundering Herd. We're going all the way down to Texas to play this one. Okay. Amon Carter Stadium. You know, it looks pretty nice from the Google photos. Apparently they renovated it pretty recently. Okay. We'll see how that goes. Marshall Thundering Herd. They have a pretty good running game. So our biggest weakness turns out to be their biggest strength, which leaves me a little concerned. If they decide to continually run the ball, we may be in deep water here. Whereas if they throw the ball, we've had a pretty good secondary this season, surprisingly. What does that mean for the future? Well, it means our secondary is going to continue to get better. Our secondary is already playing at a pretty decent level, and in the upcoming season, we're getting 6 or 7 defensive backs. That's 6 or 7 defensive backs vying for playing time, all competing at a high level with very specialized sets of skills. You got guys like Alex Hampton, who is kind of a lockdown defender in zone. You got a guy like Hugh Jordan, who is sort of like, he reminds me a lot of Chris Harris. He's a very wide receiver-esque defensive back. If he catches the ball, if he picks the ball off, he may take that thing all the way back. Byron Handy, who is known for his man coverage, his press and man coverage. Hence the name Handy, I assume. I assume his parents named him that at birth for that reason. They for sure saw that he was going to be a press corner later on in life. Guys like that coming in that could develop is going to be... It's just going to be fun to watch and fun to see. Anyway, that's going to about do it for this practice segment as Dion Hurd actually finishes up with a beautiful catch. Let's see that again. Oh, wow. Over Chris Kemp, no less. One more time. Dion running it down. Boom! That's a moss right there. Alright. Can we beat the Marshall Thundering Herd and go 9-4? I think we can. A 9-win season, just imagine that. Thank you all so much for watching, and please be sure to tune in on Wednesday for our bowl game against the Marshall Thundering Herd. See ya.